Alright, my name is Sean Han. I will be using the book Pros and Cons to go ahead and simulate this debate. Debaters will know what that book is. And today's debate is animal rights. Why is there an S after animal? Animal rights. Let's get to start with. Oh, side note, I'm at the Monogram Lounge at the Shilla Monogram Hotel here in Vietnam, more specifically in Da Nang. And so, without further ado, let's get this started with these creepy faces staring at me from behind. Alright, so animal rights. Our first start is the pros. I know the color contrast isn't that good, but please keep moving here. Pros. Now, animals cannot express verbally their emotions. Sure enough, okay, so Pegasus doesn't exist, but for some reason he's a way more important animal than, say, the cat, because he's somewhere up in the stars. Okay, I'm not talking about those kinds of animals. I'm talking about, like, cats, dogs, more dogs, horses, parrots, Pegasus. Okay, except Pegasus. And all of them have deep and lasting bonds. In fact, as a cat owner myself, the cat looks like this, except for the fact that his eyes are okay, that's creepy, but doesn't matter. The point is, as an animal owner myself, I think animal rights are great because, well, then it leads to no abuse. Then again, animal rights are there just because, well, they cannot verbally express their choices, and they do form deep and lasting connections with each other. How do you think dinosaurs were able to survive before humans? And their relatively complex emotions, such as grief, affection, and joy, are actually there as well too. Problem is, we just can't know them because animal languages, well, we can't speak them. But here's the thing. Animals themselves have deep lasting communications and languages. How do you think they also mate, and how do you think they also go ahead and do things too? They grieve over loved ones as much as humans do, just less sophisticatedly because, well, they have less sophisticated ways because they also have less sophisticated minds. And it's also because of those less sophisticated minds, we should give them rights. We have a misunderstanding of their rich emotional life. And now it's time for the cons. Now the cons here, the con side talks about animal rights. It's like saying animals do have a soul, yes. Well, that's actually kind of debatable. Well, a core function of having the right is to go ahead and make autonomous choices, and it would actually be kind of pointless to give animals that because, well, they aren't doing anything autonomous choices. They can't choose things. They cannot focus on things. Well, they also apparently have a very bad memory, such as goldfishes do, but then again, others do have good memory, like elephants, so that point's taken out. If we let these animals, if we give them rights, then we let the animals also make choices for us, and we cannot be forced to say something else. The choices that define our own individuality and shape our own lives. But then again, animals themselves, well, they have the capacity to, sure, they make choices all the time, they make choices to eat, but they are beings driven by basic urges, unlike humans, even weird humans, who can go ahead and do things, like, and make predictions, and actually make things happen, like, let's say, humans are the only animals that actually went ahead and made iron swords, and the computer. But then again, other animals can use them as well too, as long as we teach them. But that's not intelligence. Alright, time for, let's say, regulations. Well, rights are not granted to go ahead and contribute to society. They're deeper and more universal than that. I should probably be mentioning that I'm doing the cons here. Rights are here to go ahead and protect people. Just because some young children who do not contribute to society, to the state or society that gives or protects rights, well, that works too. And visiting foreigners, as well as people with severe disability, we give them rights because, well, there's human beings like us. They're here, they did their part of the work, and they will do their part of the work if they're like young children. And we do not harm individuals who would not be able to protest harm, so we cannot protest that harm, like, let's say, disabled people who cannot actually go ahead and state emotions that well. Like, mental disabilities is the word I'm looking here, or patients in a coma. Those people still have rights, even though they cannot say that they have their harm as well too. On those grounds, animals who are not part of, like, general life and do not actually contribute to society, they do not uphold civic duties, should not be excluded from having rights as well too. What I'm trying to say here is, mentally disabled people and young kids get rights, so why not these furry loving animals? Well, the cons say otherwise. The cons basically say animals do not share in a network of duties as well as responsibilities that give people rights. People have responsibility, even if they can't do their responsibility, they're enacted, they are supposed to go ahead and enact that responsibility, and if they neglect the responsibility or break a rule, well, they can go ahead and they don't have rights as well too. They basically withdraw their rights. You must put something in the system to actually get ahead and give you rights. There's a no pay, no gain system here, and there's requires contributions to go ahead in society in the form of taxes, votings, and so on, and so much more. You as a citizen are supposed to go ahead and contribute to the country, even if it is very minimal, and that's what you get for rights. It is actually kind of misguided to think that the way in which we should relate ourselves to animals is to grant them rights in the same way as granting rights from humans. Alright, and yes, it would kind of be pointless according to the cons, but pros say one of the reasons for granting rights is the actual desire to go ahead and protect sapient beings from cruel and unnecessarily pain. That's literally what rights are for. It's to go ahead and protect people from unnecessary pain, such as a bow and an arrow, except for some reason those rules don't exist in Deifying Worlds and so much more. But then again, that's actually kind of what rights are here for too. What do you think human rights, universal human rights were created? They were created for protection from unnecessary pain. Alright, next up we could go ahead and say cons. Well, unnecessary pain always happens when you cut yourself on the job by accident. That's unnecessary pain, so I guess you have to define what unnecessary pain means. But then again, also, that is not relevant to whether an animal can reason or not, because if animals cannot reason, well, they cannot feel pain the same way as we do. We people actually go ahead and feel pain a lot way better than they do, because they have lower neural networks and worse neural networks. Like, it is far less devastating to go ahead and experiment a new vaccine on rabbits or cats than it is on, let's say, a human, and see if it fails. If it works, well, good for us, but then if it fails, well, if we lose a human life, we value that way higher than animals, don't we? Well, then again, that is why animal testing comes first before humans. If granting rights to animals means that we can no longer test medication on them, we are not weighing up harms and benefits in the right way. Unless the medication is specifically for animals, we should probably not test them on animals. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. What is your opinion on animal rights? Personally, I'm just going to go in the middle, because that is the most neutral thing. Animals should have certain rights, but not the same rights as humans. So, that's my conclusion. Until next time, now peace. Bye-bye.